All right. Welcome back to Arrowhead PM. I'm back finally after taking a weekend off. We got DG here. We got Max. We got Corey. We got Coach B, Chargers fan, the Chargers fan. And we got a special show for you today. We got the AFC West rivals continued episode 2. This week is the Bolts. So we got a lot to go over, man. They got a lot of stuff going on this offseason. New coach. They got some free agents up in there. They got a lot of things they're changing. We know about them Bolts, man. They always hang tough with us in the games. For some reason, they always pick to beat us too. We always sneak out of there in the end. So stick around to the other side. We got a whole lot to talk about, baby. Here we go. All right, little short intro there. Promise we'll work on that. We're working on all this little stuff. You guys know that. So appreciate everybody being here. Everybody on Twitter. Make sure you guys go and follow all the guys you see up here. Coach B is with the Chargers. Then we got DG over here to my right. We got Max. We got Corey. We are back here with episode 2 with AFC West rivals. Last week was Denver Broncos. This week is the Chargers. So with that, I will introduce Coach B down here to the bottom right. How you doing, man? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, awesome. Thank you guys for having me. I'm doing great. You know what I mean? I love talking ball. Anytime I get talk ball, especially with some Chiefs fans, you know what I mean? It's going to be fun.
All right. Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk to us anymore. Every time I go in spaces, like, why are you even up here? We don't want to talk to you. We don't have like, what do you got to say?
All right. Yeah.
Right?
I like us.
So,
It's
also
the first time
another
we get
thing.
some optimism. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the hire of your guys' head coach. I think that was a phenomenal hire. We're going to get into that real quick because everywhere that guy goes, man, I swear he just wins. He just builds programs.
Yes.
So I'm excited for you guys to get that. I'm not excited about the competition that's going to bring to us because, you know, winning these divisions has been fun, but I see the division getting a lot stronger here in the next couple of years, and it's going to be real tough. So I do want to shout out real quick. We do have something else going on today. We have a giveaway that is going to happen, and I'll post the pictures up here in just a little bit. But we have Mr. Corey, the artist chief. He has been gracious enough to give us some paintings that he's painted for the Chiefs Kingdom. And we have some of those to give away today. So we have a special little trivia question, Coach B, that we're going to do today that's going to involve the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers. Oh, there we go.
okay.
There we go. There's some of them. I'll post it up here I'll pull it up on the big screen here in a minute, but there we go. So yeah, we got a trivia question we're going to post up and see if whoever shared the post on X is going to be in the drawing for the end of the show, and they will win all 3 of those prints from Corey, the artist chief, and we'll get those out to you guys. But the trivia question is gonna be circulated around the Chargers and the Chiefs and some history, and it might be a little bit some deep history. So you might have to actually be a fan of Kansas City and the Chargers back in the day. Yeah, it's
like
not going
that.
to
You
be
gotta know your history.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
You know, because Chiefs Kingdom's been we've gained some Chiefs fans over the years with Patrick Mahomes and now Taylor Swift. So, you know,
Are you sure? You sure? No.
yeah, I mean, we gotta push it back a little bit. You know, get some real knowledge there.
Okay.
So, all right, so we're gonna start this off with. I'll start with the first question. I know you guys probably have some questions to pop out here, but we're gonna start off with. How do you view your off-season start so far? So we'll start right back when you hired your coach and free agency. Tell us a little bit about how you think the off-season is going so far in regards to your coach and then the start of free agency, and then we'll kind of get into that.
Well, coaching wise, you know, it's actually the coach that I wanted. When I talked to many people in spaces, this is the only hire I wanted. I did not want a coach again that we had to have a guy who was a play caller. Right. I don't care what side of the ball it was. People were telling me about all the new innovative offensive minds to put with Justin. I didn't care. I wanted the guy who was a CEO. That was my anybody at DG, me and him talking a lot about this. I wanted Harbaugh from the beginning because I didn't want a guy. I know as a coach, it's hard to do both, right? It's hard to be a head coach and be a play caller. There's guys who do it and they're great at it. It's just hard. They're not they're not the norm. I know we get the guys that are great, the Andy Reeds, the Sean McVays, the LaFleurs, all the guys from that team, from that tree, the Kyle Shanahan's, and they do a great job at it. But they're exceptional. They're the exception to the rule. I want the guy who's a CEO, and that's why I wanted Harbaugh. So I was all in from the beginning on Harbaugh. I was kind of up and down because we all got the reports that Harbaugh was in the building and then not in the building, and then he's traveling to Atlanta, and then he's traveling over. And I'm like, bro, can we just get the deal signed already? Because this is getting irritating, right?
Right.
This is just doing too much, right? Y'all doing too much to get the guy signed so we can move on with business, right? I like the mentor hire. I love bringing mentor in. I like having a guy who's under that defensive focus and has a true defensive mind. I mean, you guys know I've been strapped with a play caller that was supposed to be defense as a specialty, and I'm living in a world where we can't give up we're giving up more than 28 points a game, right? Like, what world is that when your calling card is supposed to be defense?
Yeah.
Though I think the wild card one that many people are saying is Greg Roman, right? Greg Roman's the wild card. I don't see him so much as a wild card. I'm not saying I don't care about what he did in Baltimore. If you look back, I look back at his time with Jim, and it was time with Jim at Stanford. And when he had an arm with like luck, that he was able to, the offense was still, it was able to move. And I think that I understand him bringing the guys in like Gus Edwards, the guys, the center that we brought in because they know the system. I wasn't a big fan of those pickups, but I get it. I understand. I know I don't hope they're not coming in. I know Bozeman probably come in and be a day one starter because Corey Lindsey hasn't officially retired yet, but should. I'm assuming he's going to retire sometime soon. He didn't play all of last season due to his health situation. And so Gus Edwards is going to come in, help. I'm assuming we'll draft 2 backs in this year's draft. I hope so because we can get them later in later rounds. I'm prayers that we don't jump for Blake Corum. We don't say, we need a second round pick for Blake Corum. I so hope we don't do that. But I know we're going to go running back in the draft. But it's, like I said, as far as coaching, I feel like that we did what we were supposed to do. And then with them saying that, hey, we'll open the checkbook, right, to get what we need. This is something that Chargers haven't done in the past. That's why we've had the Staleys, the Anthony Lynn's of the past, because we went cheap in coaching, right? And the one thing I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the curse of Marty. We did Marty bad, and we've been cursed ever since in coaching. It just is what it is.
13-3 Marty.
Yeah, 14-2
Marty.
14-2.
Yeah,
man, like, that's the worst thing in the world, right? So I understand. I get it, right? I understand how what's going on, but I'm glad we were able to get Jim. I'm glad we were able to bring him in. I think I like where our off season's headed. I'm glad we didn't bring Eckler back. Most people, I'm just glad he didn't go to the Chiefs. I was glad we didn't bring him back. I just didn't want him to go to the Chiefs. Simple as that. Because that would have been a disaster for us if he goes to the Chiefs.
Yeah. So a lot of fans over in the Kingdom wanted him. I was more on the train of getting the Green Bay running back. My brain is
Aaron Jones. I wanted Aaron Jones too.
Yeah, I thought Aaron would have been great in this offense, mixed with Pacheco. I thought it would have been great.
Yeah. And I think for us, so the other thing for us, and as far as our offseason is going too, is we've had to spend so much time trying to rearrange money to get cap space. We hadn't had the time to really go after no high value free agents as some fans wanted us to. And I'm like, well, what money? Well, what money are we going to do this with?
Yeah,
we started 40. We started 40 million over the cap, and then when they gave us they raised the cap, we were still 20 million over the cap. Like, we needed to get some flexibility so that we could have the space that we needed to sign anybody, right? Bringing back losing Kenneth Murray wasn't a big deal to me. I liked him, but cool. We brought back Denzel Perryman. So losing Gilman was kind of iffy. It kind of is what it is. But like I said, overall, I think on our offseason, I think we've done fine. I think we've kept our head above water. Telesco had us in a very, very bad cap situation. Did I want to lose Keenan Allen? No, didn't want to lose him, but I understand. I understood the situation, right? And we got a
Yeah.
4th-round pick and they got a rental. Hopefully Keenan comes home next season. And that's just kind of my hope. And if he doesn't, hey, more power to him. I wish the guy the best. He's a constant professional. We can't say nothing, no Charger fan can say anything bad about him other than that he was hurt a lot, right? And that's the only thing as a Charger fan you can say. But as far as like being a locker room guy, being a guy on the field, all you can say is the guy was injured. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That he was a good rivalry guy too. He definitely had the chirping going between the Chiefs and Chargers fan with some of his preseason takes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and look, that's why again, he was about the Chargers. Like that's the one guy I didn't want to lose, but I understood the business side of it. We got a 4th-round pick. Mike Williams, I never thought we were going to bring Mike back. Never thought we were bringing Mike back. Like that was never in our plans. I thought it was going to be Mike. And if it was for me, it'd have been Mike and Bosa leave. We keep Mac and we keep Keenan. If it was me.
Yeah. You muted, I think, Russ.
Yeah, you mute up.
Shit. Bosa over Mac. You gotta explain that one. Talk to me about that one.
No. I said we keep Mac.
Oh yeah, you keep Mac. So
we keep Mac and we keep Mac and we keep Keenan. We let Bosa and we let Mike go.
So you think Bosa's losing a step?
He's lost a step. To me, he can't stay healthy. He and I don't listen. There's a couple of things. Health is an issue. People will go look at his game started, of course. But I'm watching the film, and when that guy's on the field, we went and got his replacement in Thule, right? Mm-hmm. Thule can play the stand-up outside 3 and the 3-4, and he can also play the end. Like I love Thule. I'm a USC guy, so go figure, right? So again, I didn't mind getting Thule. But Bosa hasn't produced. He just hasn't. The duo that you would expect with having Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, you would expect that thing to be explosive. He hasn't done that, right? He has meltdowns. He's not the guy that I felt like is gonna be able to lead this defense. Khalil Mack, by you could say, oh, he was only out there when it was garbage time and he was playing. I don't care. The dude was giving it 100% every snap. He played 100%, and he's been a locker room guy. I honestly thought we were going to lose him because he's a Staley guy. You know what I mean? He was with Staley at the Bears. Is how we ended up with Khalil Mack. So I thought we would probably end up losing him. I was hoping through all of hope that Bosa will be the guy going. But I've been wanting Bosa off this team for a couple of years now. So it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, he's accounting for 9.9% of your salary cap right now. Okay.
And if you look at the person that has the accounts for who has, if I'm saying a person that has earned his salary cap hit, it's Khalil Mack. 17 and a half sacks last season. Like he's always, like I said, you have to account for him. He's the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's the guy. He's the guy. I love Derwin. I'm hopefully Derwin will have a breakout season this year. But Derwin hasn't played up to speed up to what I expect from him either.
Yeah. Where do you expect, with everything that's going on, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where do you expect this defense to grow from this point?
We're going to need linebackers. So I want to see what we do in the draft at linebacker, right? We're going to need linebackers. It's the one thing that we still have been lacking at. We've lacked that through this whole Staley system because Staley pretended like he still had Aaron Donald in the middle, and he didn't. And he pretended because if you look back at the Rams linebackers, when Staley was there, they didn't have great guys. There weren't guys back there. You know what I mean? But Aaron Donald he can cover a lot of mistakes, right? Same thing with he tried to do here. We don't have Aaron Donald though. So we're gonna have to go after linebackers in the draft. Like I said, I brought Denzel Perryman back, which I think will help. We're gonna have to go after a D tackle, or two, and we're gonna have to go from there. But we're gonna take a step in the front seven. The front seven is going to take a step at a huge step, right? I think we have the pieces that we can work with on the back end, but the front seven is gonna have to basically buckle down and say, hey, we got to come play football because we couldn't stop the run. Over the last couple of years, we could not stop the run at all. People are like, oh, well, you were great in the pass defense. Yeah, because nobody cared about passing against us. They were running. They knew how to win. You keep your quarterback upright, and you can run the ball right at us, right? You can run the ball in between the A gaps. You know what I mean? And we didn't stand a chance. Our linebackers are already on their heels. So, I mean, there's definitely going to be the front seven, which I think will attack. Because if you know anything about Harbaugh's offense teams, period, he lived in the front seven. Like, that's where he builds his teams from, in the trenches. So I'm good with that. Definitely good with that.
How you feel about Quentin Johnson?
I can't stand him. I didn't want him in the first place. I did not want him in the first place. Let's be very, very clear. He was not the pick I wanted in the first place. I think if you would have saw me in that draft, I did everything short of flipping my desk over when I seen that pick.
Oh no, I've been there.
I did everything short of that before. I was so I had to walk away, like, because we were on camera for the draft last year. We did a Zoom, and we were just, and when I seen, and I knew he was going to get picked though. Here's the thing: I knew he was going to get picked because Telesco has a prototype that he goes after with receivers. If you look at our receivers, that's what he's done this whole time. So I already knew he was going to go after the big receivers. So Quentin Johnson was going to be our pick. I knew it. Like, we have Zay Flowers on the board. You got Addison on the board. They're just too small. That's not what he was going to do. They're too small for Telesco. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, and when it's one of those things, like, you know it's going to happen, but you don't want it to happen, but you know it's going to happen. It doesn't change how you feel about the situation. And that's kind of where I was at. It's kind of, I was like, bro, this can't be real.
Right.
You know what I mean? I called it the whole time, but I think Quentin Johnson, my whole problem with him, and I think it was kind of everybody's problem, he catches with his body. You can't be that big and catch with your hands. And it showed up. If you look at the Dallas game when Justin ended up, they put the pick on Justin to end the game with Gilmore, but Quentin Johnson's trying to cradle the ball instead of attacking the ball with his hands. So he gets bullied out the way for the football. Well, that ends up on Justin. I get it as far as a stat, but that's solely on Quentin Johnson.
Yeah,
that's why I've got. So when I did a comp for Keon Coleman, I did a more physical version of Quentin Johnson, and that's Quentin Johnson's downfall. You get a big body receiver, you got to be able to use your hands through contact and catches. That's too close to his body, and how many times I see balls get right in the breadbasket. He didn't reach out and grab it. If you're a big body receiver like that, he lacks top.
Corey, you got that fisherman internet, man.
He just didn't show the signs of physicality that you would want.
You're breaking up like crazy, buddy.
Oh yeah, cutting in and out, Corey.
You cutting in and out, Corey. Go ahead, DG. You had something you were going to say.
No, I was going to ask. So with the Harbaugh hire, what do you feel like outside of everything that went on with Staley? What do you feel like made the Spanos family decide to go with him instead of what they typically go after, or what do you think changed their philosophy this time around?
Well, so a couple of things, right? I think that one, we needed a general in the building. It was been reported that Staley wasn't very player friendly, people friendly in the building.
Right.
We had heard that. You need, as much as Harbaugh, as much people Harbaugh is like, he's, for lack of better terms, he's weird, right?
Yeah. Right.
People still like him. The players respect him. People thought, they'll run through a brick wall for him, right? Yeah. And the people in the building no matter where he's been, it's never been an issue with him and like the people in the building. It's always been him and management. Everywhere he's been, he's at a 5-year span with him and management. Like that 5 years, management is kind of like, okay, I'm done. Here's the other piece though. They also brought a GM that he's very familiar with. Right. It was somebody that was in Baltimore with his brother.
Yeah,
he's familiar with him. So therefore, he's brought in a guy that understands him also, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, we needed a general in the building. That's the biggest key. We needed somebody in there who's going to be able to command the troops. And when he talks, they listen, right? Yeah. When he talks, and it's not just the players, it's everybody. Yeah. It ain't, you know what I mean? Because his track record has been to turn teams around, has been to be able to, again, galvanize the not like I said, the locker room, but the organization. Mm-hmm. Like I said, sooner or later it goes bad, but yeah, it's not. I don't think this is that situation because it's not a situation with him and Trent Baalke, which he didn't care for Trent Baalke by the end. You got a guy he's familiar with, so they have a personal relationship already. So it's going to be different, in my opinion. I also think that DG, I'm not gonna lie, it was the Raiders game. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. As much as I loved it,
Right.
for the sake of we got rid of Telesco and we got
Mhm.
rid of Staley in one fell swoop, I never thought that was going to happen. I always thought it was only going to be Staley. It was going to be Staley. We're going to keep Telesco. It was going to be Staley. We got rid of both of them. You can't get rid of both of them without that Raiders game happening.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't do it. Like, it's impossible. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
And so I feel like at that point because the thing that came out after that DG was like, look, we're willing to open our checkbook for somebody, and you're not going to pry Harbaugh away or any coach of some substance, right? Without opening your checkbook. You're not going to do that. So with them saying that, let me know ahead of time. They're gonna shoot for the guy they want. They're going after certain guys. I never thought bringing Belichick in was going to be the key.
Bro, that
Belichick
would have
coming in
been
was
the worst
never.
decision ever.
Oh, I was so mad.
Ooh.
I'd have been so mad. You know what I mean? I'd have been so mad. But
Like he just wants to come back and get his wins. Like let him come back
yeah,
to a
yeah.
vet team or something like that. Let him do his thing or whatever. But a young and upcoming team that needs kind of
Yeah.
rebuilt in some areas, no.
Yeah, and I didn't think that was gonna be, that was never what I wanted, right? So to me, I felt like they made it clear that we wanted Harbaugh. That's the guy we want to get. And because of the thing about it is, DG, we're never gonna get our new stadium, our own stadium, or even get back to San Diego, which a lot of fans want, which I know they want. We're never gonna get that in this kind of debacle being a laughing stock, right?
Yeah.
People say what they want. The AFC West was wide open last year, probably the most
Right.
open it's ever been.
Oh
right?
no,
And
you're not going to get any fluff around here. It was definitely open.
Yeah.
there was no
pretty good to
reason.
get us.
There's no reason why we don't compete for that, other than look who we have managing our team, right?
Right.
Even when you call it pieces, you call it say what you want. There's no reason for us to not do that. Yeah, Justin got hurt, and I understand when Justin goes down, cool, all bets are off. But we weren't in contention before then.
Right.
Yeah.
We weren't. We didn't have a shot before then.
Yeah.
Well, I've mentioned this before. Tom Brady mentioned the reason why his division, he was so dominant in his division, was because the other teams in his division were constantly in turnover with their coaching staff and front office.
Yep.
And I see that same trend in the AFC West. The Broncos, the Chargers, the Raiders, they've been in constant turnover within their front office and their coaching staff, and really not able just to establish something, a culture of their own, to just supplant themselves and move, right?
Right.
And now I think the Chargers have that. I think the Broncos have that because of the high profile coach that he is, and how much control that he has. So I think that they're going to be able to establish something, but I think they're going to be behind the eight ball from all three of us in the AFC West now, because of that $88 million contract they got to pay out for the next couple of years. So, and the Raiders, I think the Raiders are very well equipped. It just really depends on how that coach does. And I think he's the same thing with Harbaugh, actually. He's a coach that's like right in the middle. He wants to coach the team, let the offensive coordinator do his job, let the defensive coordinator do their job, and coach, right? And I think that's what a lot of fans like about that coaching scenario. And I like that kind of thing. And Andy calls the plays, and we all know that. But I think he's also done both sides of that coin before. So I trust him to do that for us, but it's a
You
little
don't
bit
mess with that defense.
No,
That's
he
true.
don't mess
You
with
don't
that.
touch that defense at all.
You do what you want.
That's a fact.
You do what you
No.
want.
Now,
One real quick question into the mix, and it's not really has anything to do with your free agents from this year, but how did you feel about that Drew Tranquill signing with Kansas City a year ago?
Well, I knew I said it was a good thing when it happened because of your defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Spags was going to use him in pockets. He's going to use him in different type of packages, right? He's not going to be. See, the problem with Drew was forced to be an every down player. He's not an every down player. He's undersized to try to play linebacker. He's really a box safety, if you will. If you and Spags knew how to use him. If you want to blitz him, you want to put him in coverage at times because the dude is fast. I think he was a 4.4 guy. He's fast. So Drew, I didn't like him going there because I knew that the guy that was going to be able to use him was going to be able to use him effectively. You know what I mean? He just wasn't an everyday. He wasn't an every down guy. And we had to use him there. There was just again, Staley. He's a terrible defensive coordinator. Let me be very, very clear. He's a terrible coach. But if that's your calling card, you have to know how to use your guys.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to do that. He didn't know how. He was like, I just gonna put these guys on the field and they're just gonna play. It's not how this works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, we drafted a D lineman last season, and his best play was catching a 2-point conversion. That's a D lineman we drafted, though. Remember what I just said? The D lineman, but his only highlight was a 2-point conversion.
Right.
I don't want to see that, bro. Get out of here. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's not your position. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, like
so-
it's not the
so-
highlight I want to see. Give me
Yeah.
a
Stay on
highlight
the-
of him doing his job. But again,
Stay
I thought
on-
Drew would be good for you guys. I did. I thought that because of Spags. I hated it because he went to y'all, but it's because of Spags.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to DG and DMAC about that when he signed with you guys last season, and I was like, that's going to be a good hire.
Yeah. And you made a good point on that as far as how they used him, because then in the playoffs, they were starting to drop him back in that safety spot from the linebacker spot.
Mhm.
So
Because that's what he is. He's an undersized safe. I mean, he's an undersized linebacker, but he's very fast. And we use him in coverage too. That's why I knew you guys were going to be able to do things with him. And you can't just say, "Oh, that guy's a blitzer." That guy's he was definitely a big upgrade from you guys when you had, I think, was Sorensen. Is that what his last name was?
oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely and because that's the kind of guy Spags wanted, he found it in Drew, right? It's the kind of guy he wanted. He's found that same piece in Drew.
Yeah. Sorensen was a big play or no play kind of guy.
Yeah, I
He'll
saw a
make
Dan
it.
Sorensen. I saw a Dan Sorensen highlight on my feed the other day. I was like, "What is going on?"
People forget that first
What are we
Super Bowl we
doing?
went to against the 49ers, we had Ben Neiman and Dan Sorensen on the field as starters. Like,
Yeah,
holy cow, we've come a long way.
Coach. Staying on the topic of defense, more so this year. You guys lost a lot of your secondary to free agency, at least depth pieces to free agency.
Right.
And then you obviously have your two main corners in Fulton and Asante Samuel still with you. I love Asante Samuel. If he could just catch the ball sometimes.
Catch the ball a lot, especially against you guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
No, thank you. Keep dropping them.
Yeah, he had like 3 drop picks against us one time or something.
Yes,
so
he did.
I was just kind of wondering. Obviously, you guys have Derwin, Mr. Mural Man himself. I was just wondering how you think they address the need there, at least in the slot corner, that quarterback or that cornerback 3 role, or do you think someone on your guys' practice squad makes a step up, or someone in that depth piece takes a step up?
No, honestly, I think we're addressing the secondary in the draft. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we address corner in the draft. I think we address safety in the draft. I think we have the way as deep as this draft is, I think we're able to do both. Right. I wouldn't be mad at getting a TJ Tampa at 37. I think they will get Sanders Steele, who they're comfortable with out of Michigan at some point in this draft. I think Sanders Steele between the 4th and 5th will probably end up on our team. Honestly, especially when we got two 4th-round picks, kind of be 105 and 110, because we got 110 from the Bears. So I think that we'll be able to grab one of those. Again, I think that we'll be able to grab one of those in that area. So I'm not. I think we'll be able to address that, and then I think what we'll also do is post draft see what's left in free agency, right? See who's still on the market. I was a big fan of Callahan that we had not this year, but the year prior we had Callahan. I was a big fan of him. Why we didn't bring him back, I have no clue. Because he wanted a very, very small contract. He wasn't asking a whole lot. And I think that post draft, I think we'll start addressing it there. I haven't seen nothing from practice squad guys. I'm being honest, from my practice squad period, that has gotten me like this guy can come in and make an impact even in the nickel spot. You know what I mean? Our DC has his work cut out. And that's why I think we're going to go after it in the draft and in free agency, because I think this team I think that at the end of the day too, by our contracts, you would say we're in win now mode. Khalil Mack I don't think we keep him after the season. Bosa, I believe, is going after the season. You feel what I'm saying? So I think those guys, we're going to have to get those pieces, and the way we pay them, we're going to have to make those pieces work. We have to make them work now. You know what I mean? And I think we have to keep maximizing that and addressing our secondary in the draft and in free agency.
Yeah, I said it when they hired Harbaugh. I think that it's going to be a full rebuild in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that question
Uh,
too before. Like some people are saying, like, "Oh no, they're going to go wide receiver with that first pick." I'm like, that'd be stupid. And you don't know
no.
Harbaugh because Harbaugh wants to build from the trenches out. Period. Like
And
he
Well, the
wants to
thing about
protect
it
the
is,
franchise
he's
quarterback.
never done that. So I laugh at even Charger fans. So I see Charger fan picking. I've seen guys pick Malik. I've seen guys pick Rome. I've seen guys pick stay with Bowers. Harbaugh has that's not his MO. They
Yeah,
don't draft receivers like that, and he
yeah,
doesn't do that. So I can see him going. Although I would listen, I don't want him to go tackle at 5. Again, I was saying this before. I want him to trade back. Let's trade back between. Let's trade back and go and get 11, 23. See if we can get a Jackson Powers Johnson because of the situation with Corey Linsley. Let me get him. Even if we have Bozeman, JPJ can go play the guard. He can play guard, right?
hmm
And then we can work there at 23. If not, we can still go get it. We can still at 23 get another guard or a tackle there, and be just fine there.
yeah,
Like I said, I'm willing to trade back. Even if we have a trade suitor, let's just trade back and get more picks. We need more picks to build this team. We're gonna have to get picks to build this team. This is not gonna be something like we've stated in years past. Either we've had less picks or just had the only 7, right? Like in years past, like the year we traded our second for Khalil Mack. We've earned got every bit of that second round value out of him. But also, like I said, I want to make sure that we get um, more picks to get more value here. I think that we can do that, and so we can still get Tavondre Sweat 3rd round, 4th round. You know what I mean? Depending on how a situation falls out with the whole DUI situation, but still can get a Carter from Duke, right? We can address that D tackle position. We can still get Braden Fisk. I think we can still get in that role, and I think they're still going to get their guy, right? Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. I think this might be one of those situations where they may go with guys we can get later on, and because they're familiar with them and they're familiar with their game and they know how they can use them to plug and play.
Yeah.
right.
How do
I
you
think
feel? Go ahead, Corey.
I think with the last couple of years with Herbert's injury history, I think they go alt.
Well, so if we look at his injury history, right? If we're taking that consideration, then we don't go all. We gotta go. We gotta get back and go. We gotta protect the middle of our line, because when he broke his ribs against you guys, again, middle pressure. When he broke his fingers, it was forced middle pressure that forced him out of pocket, right? When he broke both of his fingers, his shoulder again. Middle pressure that was forcing him out. So I'm looking at this thing like we have to protect the middle first, because my guy got pressure in his face before he can even before the routes can develop, right? And then the one thing I'm hoping on now more than later on is that we could stretch the field. So that's why I want to get receivers that are gonna help us stretch the field a little bit, because we ain't got that. So we're gonna have yes, receivers gonna be a need. I think it's gonna be in the mid to back half of the draft to where how we address that need
I thought it
and
was
to help us now.
I thought it was Dennis hit off the end in the back that injured his ribs.
No, remember,
Who? No.
no, remember. I think it was Chris that came up the middle on him, and
Yeah. And when he hit him, he fell on him.
yeah,
I think, but I think the next game that we played him though, when he was still recovering from it, I think he re-injured it because I think Dana got him on the
yeah, that probably,
Yeah,
that probably
but
happened.
they were already, but his ribs were already gone. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. His ribs were already shot at that point. Like the kid was just playing through it. Actually, I think that's what helped when because and he had to change his throwing motion, which hurt his labrum. Right. So
Yeah.
again, and then like I said, even this past season, his fingers are coming from having a pressure up the middle because we don't have a center. We had to move Will Clapp, who we just lost, but we had to move him into center from guard, and now we're lacking at that position. So, and it's forcing him out of the pocket. Now, it's dumb on Justin. Stop trying to stiff arm, just get out of bounds. But I
Right.
understand the kid trying to make a play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's
But
been
again,
like that.
he broke both of the fingers, a finger on both hands doing that. So again, I think that to me, if we're going to do that, let's address everything from the center, and we'll address the center on out, right? I don't think that we have to address because we can. I get it, but I think I get getting all, but I think that we play you guys. I'm worried about the middle pressure playing the Chiefs, right? Yeah, I'm worried with the Raiders. I'm worried about outside pressure with Max Crosby. But with the donkeys, I'm worried about middle pressure, not worried about outside pressure. You see what I'm saying? Like, as long if my quarterback can stand upright and have a little time, he's gonna do damage. I'm a full believer in this kid. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just of the mindset that what we need to do is trade back, acquire more picks. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if they go alt. It wouldn't surprise me if we stayed at 5 and went alt. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I hope we don't, though. I hope they take the piece out of the Ravens playbook, having a Raven, our GM is from the Ravens, that he wants to trade. He'll trade back and accumulate picks, and then be able to build this team.
All right.
Yeah,
First of all,
I think. Go ahead, Max.
Go ahead, yeah.
So I'm from Oregon, so I'm a Ducks fan, and I watched Justin Herbert play in high school at Sheldon. So he's always been like that. He's a tough kid, balls. He's a little underrated. I wish that he didn't get the hate he did, but I love Justin and what he does. It sucked watching him get drafted to the Chargers, and it sucked watching that game where I could just tell that he was in pain and getting hit over and over. But man, he's a stud. But on that note, Jackson Powers, obviously that Oregon connection. They didn't play together, but Jackson Powers also at Oregon moved from guard to center just here in this last year. So I was wondering if that concerns you at all, picking him at 20. Or
no, it doesn't. It doesn't concern me at all, right? It doesn't concern me at all, and the reason why it doesn't concern me is because he did it well, right? It wasn't like he went from guard to center, and it was like he was marginal, right? Or he wasn't. He's still moving from guard to center, still the best center off the board, probably best center off the board, right? I'm not mad at that. I think that, and the reason why I want to pick him is because it's not. I want to pick him because I like that. Like, he's some guy I just like, right? It's a need. I'm feeling a need, right? Mm-hmm. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at filling the needs. I know people talk about Van Pran. Okay, cool, but he didn't jump off the screen. This guy did it 1 year and jumped off the screen. You can see you can see this dude make plays. And the other key part is while they didn't play together, I believe you guys had the same O-line coach that when Justin was there. So he understands the system. He understands the calls. They would have that connection in the sense that he will be able to speak the language and they will be able to talk to each other and have that QB center connection is crucial. You guys understand it? You know what I mean? I agree. So again, at the end of the day, like that's the reason why I want it. If check so many boxes and we feel the need, like that's why we need them. I mean, that's why it has to happen, in my opinion.
I'll give you a little bit of pushback, Coach. So I don't expect you guys to be picking this early again for a while. You guys, this might be the chance for you guys to get that a cornerstone tackle, because next year, say you guys improve and you're picking at 20 next year, there's your chance to go get the interior piece. But if you're picking at 2022 next year and you're still having O-line issues, the easiest way to build an O-line is starting at tackle, starting at that left tackle cornerstone piece. If you can lock that down, it's easy to build around it. Centers, usually the best centers go in the second round. So I don't think that you would want to drop a top 20 pick when you can get somebody like Creed Humphrey second, third round. I haven't really seen a consistent trend of centers going that early, but I don't know. It's just seeing the struggles that we have on left tackle and our switching in and out and getting third round picks and then always looking for another left tackle. If you've got a chance to go get that guy the 1 year that you're picking that early, I don't think I'd pass up on it.
So I guess while I understand what you're saying, I think we already have that guy. I like Rashawn Slater. I think Slater, we have a guy in Slater that has been, the only problem with Slater is that we had to move him around a little bit more than what we wanted to because of our interior struggles, right? Our interior struggles forced us to have to move Slater when we didn't want to move him, right? So my thing is that I need to fix the interior, right? And then be able to because here's the thing, not last year, but if you look at the year before, when we were making that run into the wild card position, our O-line, while it was banged up, it came together because there was stability. Corey was back on the field at center. Slater could play left tackle, and our O-line was stable, and we were able to do things. We kept Justin upright once we got stable through the injuries. With Corey, with not having the center on the field, and then you weaken two positions because you weaken center and guard in the process, right? You did that with two. You did that at two positions, and I like Rashawn Slater.
Didn't Slater play a lot of right tackle in college?
He played right. He did play right, and he played well for us on the left.
Yeah, but
he played very well for us on the left.
Having two elite tackles, we said the same thing about Orlando. May have a top 15 left tackle, but you've got a top 5 right tackle, and I had him slated to be a right tackle. I was surprised that he stuck at left, but imagine having somebody like Alt on the left, Slater sliding back to his natural position on the right. You might have a top 5 tackle combination in the league. Get yourself a mid-round center, you guys might have a top 10 offensive line.
No, so don't get me wrong. Like I said, I understand. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they did get Alt, right? It would not surprise me if they said we're going to get Alt for that reason, right? That I wouldn't be surprised. My point is that we're going to have to trade. If we're going to accumulate more picks to build the whole team, right? We're going to have to drop back, and that might mean a first or a second for next year, right? If let's say it's not Minnesota who says 11 and 23. Let's say it's for whatever reason Cincinnati wants to move up. Let's say it's whatever reason Jacksonville wants to move up, or the Raiders want to move up because they're trying to get their quarterback, right? The Raiders give us 13-44 in next year's first or next year's second, right? We're gonna have to have picks to build this team. It's not gonna be done in 1 year. But my thing is, we're gonna need those picks, and if I'm not gonna get an alt type player at 19, at 20, at 23. I'm not gonna get him. I don't think I get him at 11. Let's say if we do trade with Minnesota and get 11, 23, I don't think I get all at 11. I don't think I get him at 23. So my thing is for the next best piece to fill out what I feel like what we need to do. I feel like we need to go. I feel like JPJ. Because let's say we have a center right now in Bozeman who knows the system, which I think he's going to be the day one starter, right? Who knows what? Because he came over because he was with Roman and with the Ravens, so he knows what Roman wants to do. So we have JPJ playing guard to start if we do that to start the year or to start, right? I believe Bozeman is not going to be there very long, so the center position is going to be a need. I just feel like to have to trade back, we're going to have to trade back and accumulate more picks to address the defensive side also. I'm looking at it from a full team perspective as to get the defense side also. So I like being at 5 right now because I think we can trade back and get those pieces.
Yeah, that is a premium pick right now, especially with how few early round QBs there are, and then the drop off to like Phoenix and them. It'd be very easy for you guys to have a trade partner sitting there at 5, especially if Marvin goes before one of those quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's the only thing I don't think. I think Marvin is the only way we don't trade out. I think I'm a heart of hearts. I believe is that if they really want Alt, they really fall in love with Alt, and if Marvin is there at 5, those two things will give me pause because it'll be something against what Harbaugh wants to do. But I think it's fighting. I think that will fight. Like he'll have to fight his urge not to take that guy.
God, I'm hoping y'all can get Marvin Harrison Jr.
I mean,
I'm praying on that. I'm praying on that, Coach B. I'm sorry. I'm praying he gone way before y'all even get to him.
But I feel like if someone's I feel like the Cardinals will trade for, like if they don't trade for, they're taking Marv, and if they trade for, someone's probably trading up for Marv. So that's the only.
And it better not be the Chargers
part there.
I don't think
Marv.
Unless someone loves Alt that much, and they want to trade up there for Alt. Yeah, that's the only way I could see it. But I don't think someone's trading up to 4.
Well, I think also somebody could trade up for a quarterback. They trade for 4 for a quarterback.
Yeah,
I think if you're giving up that much capital, you're trading up for a quarterback to move up all the way to 4. Especially when the report came out that they want 3 first-round picks.
That's crazy.
If Marvin's sitting there at 5, do you take him?
I don't want to. Yeah. I'd rather trade out, but I would not be surprised if they did. It would not surprise me if they did.
I think if Marvin does drop to 5 to you, you're probably going to have a lot of trade partners.
Yeah, I mean, again, it wouldn't be surprised if they said, we're going to pull a trigger.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, and that means we're going O-line probably at 37.
Don't pull the trigger. Keep the gun in the holster. Keep it right here next to your hip. Stay right there.
The other ahead and trade the pick. The other part
I
that I feel like
just
is
don't.
odd that isn't being talked about enough is, I mean, you guys signed Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
But other than that, your running back room is Isaiah Spiller, right?
Yeah, Isaiah.
Is
Yep,
that it?
Isaiah and
So it's Isaiah and Gus Edwards are the
yeah,
only two
and
under
Gus.
contract.
Which I think we're gonna go out again. To me, like I said, I think we're addressing in the draft. I'll be happy with a Marshawn Lloyd. Go get him a pass who can catch the ball at the backfield. I don't want them to reach for Blake. And that makes me really nervous, right? Do not reach for Blake.
That Michigan connection.
Yeah, and Harbaugh loves Blake, so don't reach for him though. Don't be like, oh yeah, we need to trade back up into the third, and we're gonna take Blake. I don't want to do that.
Well, see,
Right.
here in Chiefs Kingdom, we don't like drafting running backs before like the 6th round. So where are you comfortable? Where are you comfortable drafting running backs? In your opinion,
In this draft, in with this draft in particular, fourth where we sit in the fourth, I'll be happy at 105 if we took a Marshawn Lloyd, if Blake is still there. Probably I don't want Audric Estimate only because him and Gus are the same back, so I'm not putting two backs in the same room together. Like I don't want that. I wouldn't. I know Benson won't be there. I don't want Bucky Irving. He's a little undersized for me. So to me, I would look at again Marshawn as the kind of guy I sit there and say, okay, I think you can get the running back from Kentucky, Ray Davis, a little bit later. I think we can get him in the 5th or 6th, and I'll be okay with him. I'm not big on the Tennessee. He's John Blake, right? I'm not big on him at all. I've never been big on Tennessee backs to begin with, but
all right, real quick, we're gonna do this promo real quick just to get this out there, get this started real quick. So we'll pause that, and then we'll really get into these draft picks and see. I want to know your full draft list and who you want 1 through 7.
Okay.
So let me pull this up real quick. Let me pull this down, and then share screen. And where is my other one? There it is. Boom. Share. All right. So here we go. Here's the first painting that Corey has got up for us. Again, this is Corey, the Chiefs artist. Shout out to him for making these available. He's been doing an awesome job this offseason. Doing these prints and stuff and reaching out to podcasts across the Chiefs Kingdom to kind of help us, all of us podcasters kind of have access to his awesome paintings and stuff. So this is the first one here. This is the Patrick Mahomes special. I like that one a lot.
I've got the print.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah, I've got a painting of his, and I've got 6 prints of his.
Okay. Here's a print here. So this is the next one. And then I like this one. This has got a lot of good memories in that one.
Not for 49er fans.
Right? And Bills?
Yeah.
I love that. And then our Dynasty one with Spags in the middle. Love that one. Love Coach. Coach on top of CJ right there. That was a dope moment.
Oh, he's
got your boy in there. Got your boy in there, Coach B. There to the left,
Marty.
man. Got the red eyes on him. So if you want these 3 prints, here's the deal. Here's the question. This is a good question. And when we came up with this question, I was like, bro, I don't know that 90% of the people on here are actually going to know this question. And Coach B, you can send me your answer through Twitter, through DM, if you think you know it. But here's the question. All right. Who was the starting quarterback for both teams? You have to have both teams. Okay. Who was the starting quarterback for both teams the last time the Chiefs and the Chargers played each other in the playoffs? And what year?
Oh, wow.
And yes, I was alive. So if you want these 3 prints, I'll go through these prints again.
That was way before me.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't alive.
You can come over here to post a comment in the comment section here.
Was that the 70s?
Nope. We'll go through these prints one more time here.
Shit. It's the early
It's kind of
60s.
crazy. It's kind of crazy when I was finding the answer. I'm like, we haven't played in the playoffs since then.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
it was a while back then.
It's been a while. As I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I'm going back through our seasons, and I'm like, it's been a
'Cause I'm like,
long
we
time.
haven't seen them in the playoffs any time that I've been alive for real. Like the Broncos, I know we've played in the playoffs.
No,
Don't think we've played the Raiders in the playoffs. Uh, yeah, it had to be a long. Wait, you were alive for us?
I was alive. I was
Oh
definitely
man,
alive. This old head was alive,
I was alive too.
and I'm pretty
I
sure I was
wasn't.
watching that game.
I think you were alive too, DG.
it was the '90s for real.
So I'll say the question again for anybody who's watching right now. You can post it in the comments, and then
Oh man,
we'll look at the comments and see who's got the right answer. So you have to get the two quarterbacks, and then you have to get the year right. So the question is, who was the quarterback for each team, the Chargers and the Chiefs, the last time they played each other in the playoffs, and what year? I told you this was going to be a far back one, so you got to be a real
Yeah,
fan.
that one, because I'm trying. I think that one was a
I
while ago.
think I might have an idea, but
I think I have an idea on the QBs.
I don't have a. Well, my thing is like I think I know our QB.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know who the hell the Chargers QB.
Process of elimination had so many bad QBs that didn't even get close to sniffing a playoff. So that kind
Right.
of
I didn't know either of these guys.
Really?
Mm-mm. Actually, I've heard of ours, but I've never like seen anything.
I can't.
I've heard the name before though.
I can't.
Well,
I can't take a
after I
guess.
saw the name, I remember where he was drafted too. So
Can I take a guess on ours?
you can take a guess, but we're not going to confirm it or not.
Were you telling me privately? If I'm
You
right,
can it's in the text chat. It's in the group chat.
is it?
We got our first one, CJ.
I was gonna say Bono.
Okay.
I was gonna say I don't
Bono
think
would be
I don't
We
think
got it.
was.
There's
CJ
the
got it
answer.
right.
CJ.
There's the answer.
I figured CJ would do it. Yeah.
There it
I
is.
knew he would know it.
1993, the last time
you
the
know what?
Chargers.
I was like,
Humphreys.
I thought it was our Super Bowl year. I was like, is that our Super Bowl year? Did we play them our Super Bowl year?
Yeah,
Because that's what I was thinking. It was a Super Bowl year.
yep. 1993.
Who was starting for y'all?
Dave Craig, and Stan
And
Humphreys.
Humphreys.
He
You
took
don't
y'all to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, bro.
Because we play.
Who the hell is that?
That's when we got our face kicked in. That's when we got our face kicked in by the Niners. Yes.
I mean, I remember that Super Bowl. Like, I didn't know who the quarterback was at that point in time.
Well,
No.
no, that was the year before. Because we went
CJ,
94.
shoot me a DM. Shoot me a DM, CJ, with your mailing address and all that good stuff. Your first and last name, all that good stuff, and we will get those prints to you.
Now
Go ahead and show them off one more time. Ba-boom.
So yeah, they beat us, and then who else in the playoffs that year?
No, that was the I think that was the year before DG because we went to 94
Oh,
season.
okay.
Because that was the last time the Niners won was the 94 season.
You guys
Cowboys
lost
won
to the
95.
Dolphins. You guys lost to the Dolphins the game after that. It was a wild card game where you guys beat us in that game.
So they ran
17-0.
They ran into Marino the next round.
I believe so.
Yes, that was Marino.
So Coach, I've got a question for you specifically. The others have already seen the answer, but you've got to know NFL history because this made history when it happened. What was the last quarterback that the Chargers drafted in the first round before Herbert?
Before what? Eli Manning?
See, I told you it was easy.
Well,
Yeah,
that is
no, because people get tripped up on that. People
Yeah,
get tripped
that's
up
what
on that.
people.
Because people say Phillip. They'll
Yeah.
immediately say Phillip Rivers,
Yeah.
not realizing we didn't draft him. We traded for him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was a draft day trade. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was crazy. What? Hold on. Before we move on.
Wasn't Eli like, I'm not gonna play for y'all?
Yeah,
what was
that had the
your
different things.
feelings through that, Coach? As a
I
Chargers
understood
fan?
it. So I understood what happened, right? And it came out later, but you understood what happened. He didn't. This had nothing to do with him in particular. It had everything to do with Peyton. What happened with
Right.
Peyton, right? Because of Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf told Indy he wasn't going to Indy. He wasn't going to play in Indy. Ryan Leaf had made that very, very clear. So basically, they felt like we should have took Peyton, and Indy should have took Ryan Leaf.
Mhm.
That was their thing, and they held that grudge, and they held that grudge until they were able to. Then they said that we're not coming to you. We're not letting him play for you. So I didn't care. Like, it didn't bother me either way. I wasn't a big fan of either quarterback coming out of college, so it is what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, CJ, if you're out there, shoot me a DM. There he is. I just got it. Perfect. Boom. All right. Well, there you go. That was a good question. Shout out Max for that. He came up with that question.
That was
I
a
did not
question.
know that. Yeah, I would have been lost on that.
Like, as soon
That was
as
a
I
good
saw it, I was
question.
like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, really, Craig? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like,
Oh,
I was like
I got
12 years old,
another fun
13
one.
years old.
I
Yeah.
wasn't even in the womb. I probably wasn't even swimming
Oh,
yet.
man.
Oh,
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
When was the last time the Chargers swept the series with the Chiefs?
Ooh.
Ooh. It had to
So
be
the
early
series.
2000s.
2003.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time. I honestly don't remember the last time we swept the series. I don't remember. 'Cause I always remember us splitting. Like it's a
Why do I
it's a
feel like
one-off.
it's recent?
More
It's recent.
recent than you would think.
2007.
You guys,
It's not in the Patrick Mahomes era.
no,
No, absolutely not.
it's not even in the.
Andy Reid era.
What year did we get him?
2013.
13. Was it in the Romeo Cornell era?
It had to be when Phillip was there for sure. I know that.
Well, yeah, it was definitely under Phillip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tore us up.
I just remember
He
the
tore
year.
us up all the time.
Yeah, him and LT.
Him and his kids.
And Antonio Gates used to torch us.
Is that right? Somewhere between 2010 2012.
Nope.
I'm gonna go 2000. I'm gonna go 2007.
Nope.
All right. DG, what's your guess?
He's all right.
I'm
He's like,
gonna
all
say
I'm a shot in the dark at 09.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm gonna say 20. Was it 2014?
You're close.
ooh.
2015.
Nope.
Oh,
I already said 2013. So
You said 2013?
yeah,
Yeah,
that was my first answer.
This was
2013.
the first guess.
we lost to them twice in 2013.
2013 was the last time we got swept. The
Oh,
second,
that was
the
the
second
first-
game.
That was the first
game
year of
was in
Andy Reid then.
overtime. Yeah, the
Okay.
second game was in overtime. The first game they beat us 41-38, and then the second game they beat us 27-24. So they were both very close games.
Wow.
We
okay.
always play close games.
Bro, I'm
Yeah,
telling
no
you,
matter
We
what.
always play
all
close
the
games.
damn
Inevitable.
time.
That's
Like,
what I be trying to tell people. Like, bro, we always play them tough. Like, it's gonna be a close game. Be
Yeah,
ready
like-
for it. It's gonna be.
Everybody keeps acting like we blow out our division. If you don't watch AFC West football, these games are always close.
I know,
Yeah.
like that's a common misconception. Is as Chiefs fans, a lot of time they're like, "Oh, well, you get to play the Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders twice a year." It's like,
It
do
ain't
you
as
not
easy
watch
as you
the division
think.
games? Like,
Yeah.
and then when we lose to the Raiders, or we even lost to the Broncos, which sucks. But they're like, "How do you lose to those bums?" It's like, well, I feel like that's for any division almost. Division games are always going to be tougher because you know your opponents, you
Yeah.
know how they play. There's a deeper meaning to those games. It's a whole different story when you're in the
even
division.
in that first Chargers game, if you guys come out and you play the first half like you did the second half, you probably would have won that game. But the first half, you guys decided not to cover Kelsey at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, that hey, what can you do? Staley, that's
Something
his
about
game plan.
Travis
And
Kelce
here's
Chargers.
the funny part, right? Here's the funny part, because as a defensive coordinator, well, any coach, right? Your game plan is your first half is what you've been working on all week.
Right.
That first half,
It
so
was
that's what you
wrong.
worked on all week. That's what you decided to do all week.
You were gonna single cover Travis Kelce. Okay. Has that
Good
ever
luck.
worked for you?
Last year
Has
was,
that ever worked?
and then I think 2 years ago, I was at the game at home, and I think y'all would have had us if it hadn't been for that pick six in the end zone that he threw to Watson.
Yeah, well, again, okay, so this is where listen. Don't get me wrong. I blamed that if you want to call that pick, that was split between a couple people. Justin should have never thrown that ball. I understood what you were doing. Your ribs were already gone, sir. I understood it. Coaching should have pulled Everett off the field. Who cares about keeping him in that package? Come back to that play. Who cares about that package? Come back to that play, run a play. You see your quarterbacks laboring up the field. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that's got to be on Herbert or the coach 50-50. One of them's got to call timeout. If he's the hot read on that and he's signaling, hey, I can't run, you can't throw that ball. You got to call a timeout and get at least get a new play. As soon as
I just think in that situation, you got to get the ball to one of your playmakers, like someone who you get the ball in their hand.
That was my point. Why are we rushing?
That was my
why
rushing.
Yeah.
Why did Staley have to rush that? Like,
I never understood that. Like, why are we rushing? You don't have to rush a throw. The person, they're not changing personnel. You know they can't if we don't, right? You know they're stuck, especially on the goal line. They don't want to change personnel. So you're going to try to force them on a timeout? We're rushing for what? To me, that's why I said it's a lot of pieces to go around. Justin doesn't throw the ball. I felt like coaching, because you got coaches in the box that was watching this guy trying to go off the field. You got other coaches telling him to stay on the field. Like, you see, that's a fiasco in and of itself. As a head coach, call it to you, get a timeout, reset. We're on the we're inside the 5, run the ball.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Let's just try to run the ball. Make them believe you're going to try to run the ball at all costs.
Well,
and
that was the inexperience that I think Staley just had and just kept going with, and just like the coach you got now, Harbaugh, he's not going to make those mistakes. Like everybody wants, you got to understand, this guy has coached an NFL team to a Super Bowl. He's won a national championship. He's turned programs around in college. He knows how to coach. If he was in that situation, he probably would have called timeout and said, "You know what? We're here. Let's slow this down. Let's take our time here. What do we got? What do we want to run?"
We can't get bailed out by the 2 4th down failures every time that we play you guys now, sadly.
Yeah.
Mr. 4th down analytic is gone.
Oh man.
Yeah, hey man, listen. Hey, all I can do is say, hey, Staley. I watch the clock and I say, yep, it's 4th down. He's about to go for it. Doesn't matter where we at on the field.
4th and 20. We got this.
Yeah. We're on our own 25. Let's do it. What?
I mean, Pat does it. I mean, why can't Herbert do it?
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
I don't do it often.
No, he doesn't do it often. Usually it's 3rd down. We get ourselves some third down long situations, and Pat has to do some crazy shit.
Listen, I'm more afraid of us on 3rd and short than I am 4th and short.
Even after last year, you don't think they improved? Because I think they changed it.
Listen,
after that last fiasco, when Andy came out and said, "Listen, I'm sorry, I owe the offensive line one there," it changed.
I get nervous if it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. I'm nervous.
But what I get nervous about, I don't even get nervous about the fact that we're gonna get it or not. I get nervous about the fact if we're gonna get it or not. I get nervous about the fact of, are we gonna throw the ball? Like, just run the ball between the tackles. You're gonna get 2 yards. You've been getting, especially like the games where we get 3 a carry, and then they're just like, oh, let's run some play action, motion,
like those decisions, right? Your on the field decisions. I can agree with a coach coming out and apologizing. You know what I can't agree with? Yeah. With a coach coming out and your GM's coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I signed the guy to the one of the biggest contracts for a corner in a year, and he's not on our team. That's on me. That's what I can't get behind." Like, that to me was like, again, Telesco, you're an idiot. Come on, man. Like, that's never gonna go. Like, just shut up. Just be quiet. That's what I need you to do.
Yeah.
So many people wanted JC too in that free agency. So many people wanted him.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. We sit here and we still, in case you don't know, Coach B, we still have to listen to some of our fan groups complain and bitch about Brett Veach. And then you have your situation that you have with your team.
Right.
Like we still got to listen to that.
I don't understand how, I guess, man, listen, I guess when you're doing so well, people have to find something to complain about, right? To me, I just look at it like I'm looking at a guy who, like you said, everybody wanted JC Jackson. We got him and didn't need him. He wasn't a need. We had so many other needs we needed to fix that defense. Corner wasn't the situation. That was the last piece of that defense we needed to fix before you say, oh yeah, that's let's go spend all our cap situation on him. And then we give him back to the Patriots of all people, give him back to the Patriots where we paid all his salary. That made a whole lot of sense.
Trust me, we know about getting fleeced by the Patriots. Don't ask us about what happened to Matt Castle.
Hey man, not too much of my guy Matt Castle. Not too much. Not too much of my guy Matt. Not too much of my guy Matt. You know what I'm saying? Not too much of Matt.
So I guess kind of staying on that topic, at least like with Staley and Harbaugh, what are you excited about, or kind of what do you see as like what kind of identity do you want this team to have under him? Just kind of like any new energy there, or any new feelings within the Chargers fan base as well that's going on?
Well, I think the identity, I think the fan base, the people I talk to, they're happy about being able to get back to some, I don't want to call it smash mouth, but be more balanced, right? In our attack. I mean, you got to think like, and we've talked about this before. When Joseph broke his ribs, the next game that he played, he threw 52 times. In what world did that make sense, right? Like he threw the ball 52 times. He threw the ball in that season, the next two games, he threw the ball 107 times. He had 107 passing attempts directly after having broken ribs, right? Which is why some of us, and I know it was a split, I was in the camp that I wasn't mad about giving up Eckler because Eckler can't run between the tackles, right? That's the whole thing. Like the Jaguars understood in that playoff game that we couldn't run the ball. Why? We ran the ball 8 times in the second half. They understood we couldn't run the ball. They understood there was nothing we can do. I believe somebody had put a stat out before that if we just ran the ball 3 and out and we could have ran out the clock and won the game. But we couldn't run the ball. Like we couldn't sustain anything with that, right? So I think with this, Harbaugh's going to give us some more balance, right? If you want to call it taking the ball out of Justin's hands, cool, I'm with that. I don't think there should be any quarterback consistently throwing the ball more than 47 times a game. I don't think that's a winning recipe on a consistent basis, right? So to me, was that?
Go ahead. I thought you were finished.
Oh, so to me, I feel like with Harbaugh, what we're most excited about is having the balance, right? Offensively, having the balance. And it's going to be able to keep our defense off the field because the one thing that are not having that balance, Staley, again, in and of itself, put his own defense in bad positions. I think I want to say our average series, right? Our average series was like a minute and 30 seconds. It's like on an average, that's how long our offensive series were. Our defense is not getting any rest. They're not giving it time to do anything, right? So if we're having that, I think that with Harbaugh, we get some more balance. It's going to help our defense out. And, that's going to help us, be in more ball games and keep the score lower. Because Justin, before last season, coming into last season, his record was like 32-6 when we give up less than 28 points. So I need just to give less than 28 points. My guy has a winning record. We can win with that.
I don't know how many times I saw sketchy play calling or handing the ball off to Eckler or Kelly on a 3rd and 8. Like, what are you doing? It's not like you don't have a good quarterback. Like, who in their right mind is handing the ball off on 3rd and 8? I don't know how many times I saw them do that or run that same little dump off to Eckler.
Yeah. It's a give-up play. It's the give-up plays. And that those to me are just you're conceding. We're going to punt. We don't have that kind of team. You didn't give your defense that kind of time, right? You didn't give your defense enough time to catch their breath to, to wrap their head up around what the hell is going on, right? And that's what makes Khalil Mack, to me, at his age, with the way he's had to be on the field in the last couple seasons, to be able to produce the way he's producing, there's no reason Joey Bosa shouldn't be producing that way, which is why I want Joey off my team. And that's why
I do have a little bit of an off-the-wall question for you. I know you're bringing in Harbaugh. Do you think there was even a 1% chance that Harbaugh came into this thinking, I wonder what I could get for Herbert and bring in my guy JJ?
No, absolutely not.
Not
and only because of this, right? If Harbaugh was so emphatic prior to, in his interviews prior to him being signed, he would want to work with Justin. That was his thing. He wanted to work with Justin. So I never thought of him bringing in this guy.
I think he'll be on a short leash, though. Harbaugh is one of those guys that he likes his guys. And if he's coming into a new system, I think everybody in that old system is going to be kind of on a short leash. Herbert may have the longest leash out of all of them, but when you're talking about Bosa and a lot of the veterans that are there, I think a lot of them are going to be on a very short leash, especially with the cap put in.
Yeah. That's why I said Justin's safe. He's made. Like, to me, Justin's a made man. If there's anything, he's safe, right? Everybody else, though, good luck. You better earn it. You better earn it, because I don't know what to tell you after this year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's the thing, right? I think that, again, with Justin's been through since college, he's been through 7 new systems. He's had 7 different offensive coordinators since college.
Yeah.
Between college and the pros. Both
the
I think 3 of them
the same way. I mean, look at his brother in Baltimore. If you don't fit the system and you're not working out, he's not quick to pull the trigger and get rid of you. I mean, just look at Hollywood. Look at Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Look at who was that other receiver they got in the second round that they had high hopes for and pretty much just been benched after his first 2 years of injury history.
Bateman.
Bateman, yeah.
That's what I said. The Harbaugh brothers, they don't play around. If you're not working, you're not fitting, they'll cut ties and they'll move on. So I think everybody,
for sure,
besides Herbert, probably has a 1-inch leash right now.
Yeah. No, it's not. Again, especially with our cap situation, right? I don't think this is a situation where Jim is not afraid to say, you know what, that guy's not working. Let's let him go. You know what I mean? Which is part of the reason why they came to all 4 of them. Like, what people don't understand is all 4 of them didn't need to take a pay cut this season. Keenan, Mike, Khalil, and Joey didn't need to take a pay cut. They went to all 4 of them though and asked them to restructure. All 4 of them were asked to restructure.
That did surprise me, because it was like right before you guys needed to be under the cap. It was like the day before you guys needed to be under the cap, and there was news about it. And I was like, well, I wonder which one of the 4 is going to take this, or what are they going to do? And I honestly thought that you guys were going to obviously cut Mike Williams or Khalil, and then ended up obviously what happening was Mike.
It's the 2 guys who didn't want to. It's the 2 guys who didn't want to restructure. That's what happened.
Yep. Exactly.
The 2 guys who didn't want to restructure, they had to go.
I think it's kind of a 1-year test run for Harbaugh. He's got what's left there. You can't just gut the whole roster first year. You're gonna have
true.
I think this is going to be the season to see which ones of those veterans buy into his system. And if there's still issues after this season, you guys aren't where you want to be, I'd expect some more veteran cuts after this season. And then Harbaugh is going to rebuild that team the way he wants to.
Yeah, I expect those anyway, though. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know if let's say Joey and Khalil play solid this next season, right? Nobody's rocking the boat. Everybody's good. I'm not sure I expect them to be back after the season, though.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be honest.
You got an out with Bosa this year, right? This next year.
Yeah. So I don't expect them to be back. So again, whether they work out or not, I think that it's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna have to get more cap flexibility, and those 2 guys are gonna be the guys that end up getting cut. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much a good coverage, good stopping point there on the Chargers. Is there anything else you got that you want to add in there with the Chargers draft picks or anything like that? I think we were going to talk about the 1 through 7, but I don't know if we have any time now. We're starting to run out of time. So.
Oh, no, we're good. Like I said, my biggest thing is let's go to the trenches. I know we will go out the receiver. If we address trenches, a corner, and I don't know what linebackers will look like just because of this linebacker class is not very deep, and I'm not interested in taking guys for the sake of taking guys, right?
Yeah.
So if we have to live what we have is kind of where we're at. We drafted Diane Hensley last year. He didn't play very much. We'll see where he's at, coming into next season. So we'll see what happens there. But again, I really appreciate you guys for having me. So again,
Yeah.
it was fun, definitely fun.
It was a
I got
huge honor, man.
I got one
Yeah,
last
what you got, Max?
question. What's your realistic expectation for this season and dream expectation for this season in terms of success or record wise?
Realistic expectations. Again, I think that we can. I think with our team, what I expect from this team, I think we're looking at a 9-7 season, or 9-8 season, 9-8 season, right? That's realistic. I think that to me should be our floor. I think what I would love to do is be in that 11 win area, and be in a fight for the division. Winning division, it is what it is, right? I want to be in a fight for the division. I want to be in a position where we might be coming down to the last few games of the season, and they mean something, right?
Yeah.
They mean something. It's like, oh, the Chiefs need this, or the Chargers need this, and it's gonna have to mean something. So that's kind of where I want to be. And I think that's a respectable approach to take, to say, okay, look, here's where we are year one. Because again, year one, I want to be that's going to set our baseline, and then we can go moving forward. I think we can go from there, and because I think that'll keeps our team together. It'll keep our nucleus together as a team. If we're in that range, if we're anything below that, I think it's going to be a blow up, and they're going to say, okay, we're going to blow this thing up, and then we're back to square one. And then it's like, okay, where are we at? We're going to start going through this whole turmoil, whole, rinse and repeat type of situation that we've been in the last 3 years. And it won't be because of coaching. That'll just, to me, that'll be a failure somewhere. It'll be it'll disconnect somewhere. So it's kind of where I'm at.
DG, you got any closing questions for him?
Nah,
Or
man.
here?
Nah, I appreciate you, OG, for coming on and talking ball with us, man. This is always one of my favorite guys to talk ball with. Every time we get in spaces on Twitter and stuff like that, it's very knowledgeable of the game. So anytime I got questions or something I don't understand in the game, I always go to Coach B. So yeah, man, give him a follow, yeah.
And he's definitely, I was just about to say, like, he's not one of those guys that's going to get in your face as a fan. He's going to talk real ball with you. So if you're a Chiefs fans watching this, shoot Coach B a like and a follow. Jump into spaces with us, because we love the Twitter spaces are booming, man. Great conversations in there. A lot of great good people in there talking real ball. So make sure you guys pull up for those spaces on X, man. A lot of good stuff going on there. Corey, you got any closing thoughts for Coach B?
Yeah. I expect next couple of years we'll be seeing you guys at the top of the division with us again.
Hey, that's my hope, man. That's my hope. Like I said, they have to mean something. That's my hope.
As long as you're number 2, though.
No. We ain't playing for second. Whatever happens. We ain't playing for second. That's for sure.
No. Stay right there too.
We're not playing for
right there.
I mean, we already had
for y'all.
I mean, they already had the Broncos had to break that damn streak last year. So hopefully this year we're not going to start off with breaking that streak of our division title. So because I don't know if you know this, Coach B. You probably did know this because you're a smart guy with his ball. Last year we were all tied for division titles. Do you know that?
Yeah. Because it took you guys a while to catch up to us.
We did.
It
took us 7 years.
It took this run brought you like, I'm like, damn, this run, and it made me laugh, right? It made me laugh because all I hear is people will always say, especially in spaces, oh man, look, are you guys ever gonna do something with the Chiefs? I'm like, y'all act like they're like leading the division by like 20, like they've won like 20 in a row. Like, what are we doing? They just caught up. Chill out.
Yeah, we just caught up. Like we just took the lead. Like
right.
It's us and everybody else.
Hey, chill out.
Yeah, so that was a fun stat we were messing around with all year last year. And we actually, me myself, I was like, man, the Raiders, are they catching up to us? Holy shit. And then
they had a good run. They just said they had a good run. That'll end pretty soon.
Yeah. Max, you got any more questions? You
Nope.
think we've covered everything Charger wise for everybody to kind of understand going into draft in 2 weeks
Hmm.
what the
Yep.
Chargers are up to?
Most definitely.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you
Appreciate
right
it,
A lot of
now.
coach.
fun.
I've been saying it in spaces all off season. I'm scared of the Chargers in the next couple of years with the coach that you guys have now. The sky's the limit, man. I mean, the sky is the
Yeah.
limit with that coach. So, and you got your quarterback, right? I believe in that
Yep.
kid. I get thrown under the bus a lot in spaces because I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking like. Justin Herbert is a good quarterback, but look at the situation that he's in.
Yeah.
Who's coaching him? Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Right.
You guys get the cap situation figured out the next few years, the future cap situations and
I,
draft
I, I
well.
think I think it's gonna figure itself out. Not figure itself out. I think
Yeah.
it's figuring out as we go. As we go
Yeah.
along, right? We had to start here, right? We had to start here and fixing it. I think as we go along, it's gonna. I mean, Justin's number is gonna start to hit us. But I think that it'll just kind of it'll continue to work itself out
Well,
as we
see,
go.
as it says right now, you guys have $51 million in dead cap, and then you are sitting
Mm.
at 27.6 in cap.
Yeah, that's all like I said.
There's some stuff to
It'll.
do.
I think we'll be fine. I'm not. If it was Telesco in there, I'd be worried because he would have repaid
Yeah.
Keenan. He would have repaid Mike. We wouldn't have nothing. We probably have got the team right.
Yeah.
But we don't have that issues. And I mean, it's part of that is a new regime, right? They don't have these personal ties, right, to guys. Just I'm gonna pay you because I want you to be a Charger for life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't have 7 guys on a roster that are Charger for life. Can't do that.
Mhm.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's what we had the same conversation about Snead in our fan base. It's like we just can't do it, man. Like there's no way that you can pay Chris Jones and then turn around and pay Snead what he wants. Like
Right.
We
it's
had
a
the same.
business. We want to keep Snead, obviously. There's just no way the math works out. He's got the knee issue. Plus, he's going to be 28 years old coming off of his rookie contract. It just didn't make sense.
It's
Right.
a business.
We were with you guys, Coach B, for a lot of years with like the Eric Berry, Justin Houston contracts. As Chiefs fans, we found out recently, even though we hate seeing the players go like Reek and Snead, it's better to be a year too early than a year too late.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think you got the GM that's going to be able to understand that and do that. So,
Right.
yeah, man, future is bright, man. Future is bright. I hate to say it, but future is bright there, man. With the coach, with your quarterback that you got there, I think you guys are going to start building one hell of a program, and it's going to be a hellacious competition between us and the Chargers. That's for sure.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
hey, man,
Should be
appreciate
fun.
you coming on, Coach B. We are going to
Appreciate you
get
guys.
you back on here during the season for our midseason review for all the all of our teams and the conference and stuff. And then I look forward to talking to you in spaces more, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll come into you guys'
Yes,
spaces.
sir.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
man. Appreciate you.
Y'all make sure to
I
go
appreciate
shoot
you
him a
guys.
follow.
Yeah,
Shoot him a
everybody
All
get
follow.
Chiefs Keenum.
Yeah, definitely.
Get Coach B a follow there. If you see him in spaces, talk to him, man. Ask him some questions. The guy knows ball. Just a great individual to talk to, man.
Appreciate
And
you
with
guys.
that, we are going to close this down. So that is episode 2 in the books. The Chargers, the Bolts, with Coach B. And next week we're going to have the last team, which we all hate, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Absolutely.
We have a guest. I'm trying to think who was that.
Wait,
I'll announce it later. Was Witt? Okay, Witt. Yeah, it was Witt.
sorry.
So we got Witt coming on for the Raiders next weekend, and that'll wrap up the AFC West rivals. Yeah, I don't really hate the Raiders. I mean, thank you for giving us your stadium so we can have a stadium on the West Coast, I guess. I mean, we
we
own
got
that stadium now. We won a Super Bowl there. We used your locker room. I mean, how much
Hey,
more?
I sent my Raider friends a bottle. One of my Raider friends, Brink, I sent him a bottle for getting rid of Telesco and Staley for me.
No, hey,
That
there you go.
I will
That
I
works.
I was indifferent about the Raiders. My biggest rival was always Broncos because I've got a buddy that's a Broncos fan. But once they did that whole wheels on the bus BS, it became personal.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? They did the wheels on the bus. That's totally fine. But we won a Super Bowl on their field, and we used their locker room to do it. So there you go. We did it.
Right.
Again, Coach B, appreciate you, man. We're gonna head out of here.
Appreciate you
A little
guys.
short show today, but we will be back next Saturday, same time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will be talking with Witt with the Raiders, and we'll wrap this AFC West Rivals episode series up, and we will head into the draft and see where all this falls. So appreciate you guys coming out. We will talk to you guys later. Coach B, we'll see you on X, man.
See you guys later.
Later, bud.